Hello, everyone. This is Sprint 29 Sprint Review, and this is for YakShaver. So getting into it, we have Sprint 29. Most importantly,
Can we get rid of the ribbon, please?
We can. Here's all the people that did the work. So the sprint goal was to investigate how to set up a client instance to make this work for other companies. So that has been done. I'll get into it when we talk about the PBIs. We made this an extra day because we were missing the public holiday, and the sprint review was going to be on that public holiday. So we ended up having a full sprint for 4 people. Josh
Can you
worked.
zoom that a little bit, please, Yuli?
Yeah,
130,
sure.
130.
Yeah.
Good.
So Josh also worked for us for the 3 days he was working as well, and he is close to getting that live as well. And Betty's previous sprint was for us, but then she did a little bit for us this week as well. But she's moved on now. So going through the PBIs, first off, we have now a cancel recognition. So if you are shaving the yak and you suddenly realize, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake, you can say so and it will just not happen. One slight alteration to that is I've asked for a notification to be given to you to say you asked for this to be cancelled. So at the moment it just cancels without telling you. So now it'll cancel and tell you it cancelled.
When was that deployed?
Today, but it's only in staging right now.
And that's why I wasn't working on the weekend when I was trying that.
Apparently, yes. It's also still not in prod. So Jack, when are we going to get that into prod?
I think we need to fix staging first. We need to figure out why staging is not working for you. Once we fix that, we should be able to build to prod.
Okay, cool. So there was an issue with the leaderboard where in prod it was showing.
Just so you know, the definition of done means that it's in production. So
yeah, no. So this is confusing for this team because they do this every time. So every PBI seems to always lag going into production, and I'm not sure why. Rick, is there a good reason for that?
You need some DevOps magic from somebody.
Yes, we need more proactive testing on staging. So developers need to push the commits earlier and then give a time buffer for testing.
Right. Okay, cool. I'm happy to do that testing. You just have to tell me. So, okay, all good. Yep. Next one is the leaderboard in prod had an issue where it was showing up, but it wasn't showing the names of the people. That's now been fixed. And you'll see an example of that when we get to it below. This was the sprint goal, the spike, investigating how to set up a client instance. So we went through this in some detail. Adam, have you seen how the guys are planning to do this now?
No, I haven't, but I don't think we should be going through that in the sprint review.
In detail. Okay, cool. All right, no worries. Well, basically, what we decided is that there's going to be, there's a whole bunch of PBIs that have been created to actually make it happen now. But was there an ADR or something, guys, on our decision of how we're going to do it?
Yes. So the 6th item is ADR. We have chosen to use Next.js for the client portal and also the system portal.
That does not answer what we're talking about, I don't think. I think we're talking about multi-tenancy, aren't we?
Yes.
So I understand your view all the different tenants in the client portal. I'm just wondering how it's being done. Is there a separate database for every client, or how are you doing it?
We will only have one database, and then that will serve multiple clients.
Okay, so that means if one client puts in 1,000 videos because they're a big company, that would impact another customer, right?
Potentially yes, but 1,000 records for a database is negligible.
Yeah, but 1,000 videos to process with the Azure, and if one client, we want to give dedicated resources, or one client spams us like nothing else, and it's impacting other people, I think it's not going to be very resilient service because one client affected.
Yes. We also offer bring your own infrastructure options. So on the pricing, everyone will be sitting.
I don't think people will want to set up their own thing. They'll just want to use it.
They won't. Okay.
I don't think that's going to be a good answer. So anyway, the fact that it says done, but it hasn't been done and checked by, well, me or somebody else. Yeah, look, if you told me that, as Callum, have you verified this stuff? Have you given a seal of approval?
I don't remember. I was involved in a conversation last week. I don't remember if we actually came to a conclusion or not.
Now, Rick, what we might do is say, look, we understand it's got this problem, this problem, this problem, but we'll get something live. Is that good enough that we've got a better solution later? That is another alternative that we can do.
Yep. Sure.
My point is, I don't think I'd put done until it's been done and checked by a few people.
Right.
Okay, so there was 7 or 8 people on the call, and everyone was unanimous about the way it was going to go, including Callum, who I asked explicitly, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he said yes. So at the time, it felt like we had technical consensus that this was the way to go. I'm a bit concerned now that everyone's stepping back from that.
Okay, I'll review the document and get everyone checked, including Adam.
Yeah, just think about it from a scaling point of view, and whether one user can impact other users.
Sorry,
maybe
Adam.
Maybe we can live with it.
From whose perspective? I didn't hear you.
A big company will want to make sure that they are not impacted by an idiot.
Okay.
A dumb company.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Quickly.
So are we going to redo that spike?
Yes, I will redo that spike.
Right.
So let's do a version
and so who was missing in the first time we did that conversation? Who? Because I thought like I remember thinking at the end of that call. I'm quite frustrated now because I remember thinking at the end of that call that it was, all of the brains trust had come into this and we'd come up with the technical solution. So why are we now saying that that was a stupid move? Which brain were we missing? Why is Adam coming in with this now and saying this is what Adam's saying actually true, or is this just another perspective and it actually is outweighed by the 7 solution architects who already signed off on this? Like what's going on?
I think I didn't get Adam to do the final check.
Right. But this is not information that only Adam has access to, right? Okay. All right. We'll do it later, but that's I'm not super happy with that.
So Yuli was actually asking which other people that were not on the call do you wish you had had on the call, so you could say, Adam, well, that's valid what you just said, but we got this guy and this guy to check. And they knew these concerns.
Like, who was I missing on that? Who should I have called into that call? I thought having Callum on the call.
Don't give names, Yuli. Just let them think.
Sure.
Yeah, we had Callum in the call, and I think and the team members. I think that's all.
Yeah, but who did you need?
I will get Adam in the call, but I don't think I can.
Adam's like got a lot of experience, but he's not actually a solution architect. Like who does multi-tenancy stuff?
Multi-tenancy.
Like
I think Matt Gorman or Warwick will be a good candidates.
And also Gordon and Wixie. So those 4 people will do wonders.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. And you could bold the ones that
I can't make any changes because I'm looking at someone else's email now.
Yeah, sure. But if you could make sure that just the important PBIs are bolded, so we don't go through every single one.
Right. Okay.
Or Rick, if you could just bold the ones that Yuli covers.
Right. Okay. So there was an issue with toggling on and off in prod and staging, but that's solved. But the way we've solved it, we may have to undo because it's very expensive. So not sure about that. Small bug. Don't need to talk about that. Bunch of documentation updated. Email card update text content. That was just adding some emojis. The design mockups are all done, which means that Josh now has all he needs to make a really good website, which is great. The Figma mockups look really nice. So I will be checking in with Josh tomorrow to see how far he's gotten, because he last Wednesday thought he was pretty much done, but apparently he got some feedback from Brady, which has made him reconsider a few things. So I think he's still going. I'll find out where he's up to. And explicit assignment is a big deal because PBIs were getting assigned quite often, even though people weren't asking for it, and that was causing problems in some projects, including SSW rewards. So now that this is done, once I've tested it, I can make sure that Zach's happy, and that will be our last canary. So our canary deployment will be complete when that is done.
All right. Now, Callum, can I ask you, what does that one mean, the selected one? Prompt, implement, explicit assignment topic.
No idea.
Neither do I. Tom,
Okay,
do you know what it is?
So a PBI.
Hold on. Does Tom know?
Nope.
No. Stephen, do you know? You're
No.
Yeah, so basically, you've got to be aware that a lot of the team just don't know the topic.
Right. Okay. So
Yes.
when a PBI
Guys,
is created,
you've got to pause like I just did. There's no point Yuli talking about saying you don't know what it is, because he was about to move on to the next one. All right, let's go.
when a PBI is created in any backlog system, it can have an assignee. So this is assigned to it's a PBI that's made in the YakShaver backlog, and it's assigned to Jack, for instance, right? Normally in Scrum, people don't assign PBIs ahead of time. It would be quite rare. But the logic for the AI was quite often giving an assignee. So actually, you can see the assignee column here. All these PBIs have been assigned to these people, right? But that happens when they pick it up from the backlog, not when the PBI is created. So we wanted to make sure that the PBI was only given an assignee if, for instance, Adam goes, I specifically want Stephen to do this work. Which would be 1% of the time, right? Not 95% of the time. So we put in basically more logic around that to make sure that it's only if you explicitly ask for an assignment would it have an assignee, and if it doesn't, then it won't.
Now, Yuli, who asked for that behavior to change?
Me.
Yes, and only you. As far as I've come across, lots of people have seen that, and no one's ever complained. I would.
Yeah, it wasn't a problem until it was a problem. So this is the reason that Zach has test failed the application.
Well,
because it's caused a problem in when we try and make a PBI. If you ever try and make a PBI for rewards, for SSW rewards, and it has an assignee, because of a permissions issue, it will fail the PBI creation. Right. So the way.
Say it again.
Okay, so because the SSW rewards backlog has some different or more strict permissions set up around it, when it tries to assign someone to that, assign a PBI to someone, and that person is not, I can't remember exactly what it is, but if they're not in that team or if they don't have permissions to be there or whatever, it chucks a stink.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
And that was quite difficult to solve the permissions issue, but it was very easy to solve the explicit this issue.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So it was assigning it to somebody not
in the
team, basically.
It was sometimes, yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Is that right, Jack? I think that's.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Good to know. All right. I thought that you had it was just a little Scrum purist thing.
No. I mean, that is also true of the Scrum stuff, but which is why I thought it was fine to do it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it solved a bigger problem.
Okay, got it.
Cool. All right. So I won't talk about the rest of the stuff except for a small one, which is that the screenshot and URL stuff is super close. It's in review and right nearly over the line.
Okay. Can you just be clear why you're not talking about the rest of the stuff? I know.
Oh, but that was everything that was done. Sorry, already.
Yes.
So yeah, the rest of it is pending.
Okay. All right.
Also, I think some of these numbers are not right, because I believe that's down to no, maybe I don't know, whatever. That one wasn't that a 2 now?
Actually, that one should be in review now, and it's to 1, down to 1.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's a big deal because that was the last thing that Brady wanted as well for his canary sign off.
Okay. All right. Good.
Cool. All right. So we have a PBI for this, and it's in the next sprint. So we don't have code coverage stats yet, but we should next sprint. Same thing for build. We did one production release. Application health, same deal. We have a PBI, and it's in the next sprint.
How many errors happened last sprint?
Don't know. We don't have any stats.
Right. Well, I can
So
tell you-
that
I can
PBI
tell
will
you
give you.
it was down half of yesterday.
It's been down for me all day today as well.
Right. Okay. All right.
I don't know if it was down for everyone yesterday or what, but yeah. No, it's annoying at the moment.
Okay.
So this is the usage stats on production. The reason I'm so low is because I mainly use staging.
Okay.
But interesting that Betty used it a lot. Sorry, guys, you can't be in here. You can't be in here, guys. No, I don't. I need you to not be in here, please. No, please leave the room, Darius. Darius, leave now. I'm working. Thank you.
Now Darius is in the recording.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. So the product. Okay, the roadmap. We've got some. This column is new, so we have a bit of progress on these epics, which is cool.
That is great. That roadmap looks great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
You're
like
working
this.
on the most important one. That's great.
Except for some reason a bit of this one. So we did some R&D and we're into our sprint retrospective. So we fixed up the this sprint. I think a lot of discussion and time was spent around investigation and identifying technical debt and stuff like that. So there's a bit less, new stuff this sprint, and a bit more kind of navel gazing and figuring out what we should do next, and how we're going to structure it and make it scale up to be bigger, to be able to work for different tenants and all that kind of stuff. So just for context, so you know what the retro is about.
Let's call out the most important piece of feedback.
I guess that the dev experience is a bit better. The main thing that went down is that it wasn't working at all for me today. I've also been away for the last 5 days, so I came back and it wasn't working, so that was not great.
And Jack was trying to get it working all day yesterday as well, so
Yeah,
it was confusing. At least he was trying.
Right.
Yeah, but I really thought at a certain point that somebody in the team would see all the emails and come back and say, all right, it's alive again, and this was the reason.
So did anyone find out what the reason was? No, but is it working for Adam now?
No, not yet.
It's still not working. Okay. So the whole thing's still down. So maybe Adam, that's why you haven't heard nothing yet.
Yes, but it would have been helpful for Rick as the leader to probably say, hey, I've been talking to Jack and this is what's going on, but we're fixing it, because it's really important that you resolve when something is down, because it's affecting everyone. It affects the thoughts. If you try to use it, it doesn't work, people don't try it again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So I guess one thing worth mentioning is also we're using this global Teams message subscription thing at the moment, and it's mediumly expensive for a customer, a company our size, and for a huge company, it would mean that they couldn't use YakShaver. Unfortunately, without this, we can't have the feature where people who are in the, like, if I YakShaved in this meeting with the 7 of us or 8 of us here, at the moment we'd all be automatically CC'd, or I mentioned. That's what's giving us that functionality, but it's very expensive and it eats into our potential margins for this substantially.
Right.
And makes it almost untenable for a large company to use, and also a big security risk for a large company to use. So I'm thinking of rolling back that functionality and working out, basically giving up that feature.
Why don't you just put in the enterprise version?
Maybe, but enterprise, like, it would mean it would have to be substantially more expensive.
Yes, that's right. That's what enterprise is.
As in per user, not just in total.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
right. But our pricing structure is backwards from that at the moment, so that it's more expensive per user the smaller you are. The larger you are, the less expensive it is per user. So it would be kind of weird to.
I would have a conversation with Gert, because he's thought through this stuff.
Yeah, could do. I don't know. It just feels like a feature that's not that big a deal to, quintuple the cost of the application.
Well, I think some people would want it.
Also, at the moment, just so you know, the way it's ended up working is that not just the people in the call, but also anyone who's ever been added to this chat gets CC'd on it as well. So for the case of sprint reviews, that could be 50, 60 people over the course of multiple year project, all getting.
As long as you make it visible who's there and who's not, I think it's okay.
I don't know, that feels like a killer to me, because like you can't make it visible. So for instance, in this one, we have 8 people, but we'd have 20 people CC'd if we send an email, and the people wouldn't know who's going to be CC'd. You'd have to go to the chat and see who's in the chat history. Which
you could put a message there straight away saying preparing. There's 20 people going to be CC'd. Before it does the processing.
Maybe, I don't know. It feels like a killer to me.
I thought we were going to look at the recording and see which people are on the recording.
So yeah, that was my workaround, but it only works for up to 6 people, because after more than 6 people, it no longer shows their names. It just shows their face, and you have to mouse over to see their names.
Right. But I feel like you wouldn't really want to CC more than 6 people anyway, right? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, well, that was my workaround.
No, I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, we get away. But also, I mean, it also means you have to be sharing that screen. So right now, for instance, if I YakShaved, I'd be sharing this screen, which doesn't show me who's in the meeting. I'd have to share this screen.
I think you should keep the feature, but only for enterprise customers that are paying for it.
And figure out a different way to do it for others. Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, moving on to planning. So the plan is basically Tom identified a bunch of tech debt while he was working this week. And if we're going to scale this up to work for multiple tenants, we should pay that down. So there are 2 PBIs, which are at the top here, tech debt. They're the 2 I mentioned before about, how you didn't have any stats. Oh, sorry, 2 seconds. You didn't have any stats for all of this stuff. Like no error stats, no code coverage stats. So those 2 should be fixed. That's the tech debt we're paying down. Other than that, we're going to keep trying to figure out what to do with the app mentioned stuff and whatnot. Finish off Jack's little bit of that's left to do on his URL and screenshot stuff. Tom's working on a move to button, which will be great, because then if it ever makes a mistake, it won't be a costly mistake, because you can just say, oh, it's made it in the wrong PBI, and just move it the wrong backlog and move it to the right backlog. The user notification we talked about, that's almost done. So that's, I've got the video and I'm working on it. We're going to keep working on the public page with Josh and put in the licensing model. Little update to the tagline. Warwick had a problem where he first started trying to use it too quickly. Like he turned it on and shaved the app and it didn't work. That should have been clear that it wasn't ready yet, or whatever. That shouldn't have been a problem. So we're going to fix that. And then the other stuff's just documentation.
All right. So before you send this, can you make sure the outage goes to the top? And
Rick, can you do that?
And the version 2 of the
When you say the outage, do you mean Warwick's thing?
No. I mean, there's been an outage yesterday and today, and we should understand.
Oh, I think that's user specific, Adam. It's just you and me for some reason. Like Tom and that lot have been using it in the meantime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's still an outage.
Yeah, and it's super annoying. But
yeah.
Let's get that fixed. Okay. Yeah, we can add a PBI for it.
Yeah. So that should be at the top. Investigating outage. Like, you shouldn't be working on new stuff if people are down.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And if it's only been affecting me, then I should have been told that I can not do it, but you can get Warwick to do it. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe not even true. And the second thing.
I don't know what it is, by the way. So guys, whatever this outage is, we need to work it out.
Yep. And the second one should be the multi-tenancy V2.
Yes. So Rick, you're adding that?
Yep.
Just check it can scale.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
So
Cool.
we'll put this video up on the YakShaver channel. And that's it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.